Imagine losing the love of your life because a mountain stood in the way. Imagine being mocked, ridiculed, and left alone to take on an impossible task. And now imagine this, with nothing but a hammer and chisel. You conquer that mountain one blow at a time. Sounds like a legend, doesn't it? But it's not. This is the real story of Dashrath Manjhi, the man who turned a mountain into a road, with nothing but his sheer will and determination. Stay with me, because this isn't just a story of a man breaking a mountain, it's a story that will shatter every doubt you've ever had about the power of perseverance. Hello, dreamers and doers. Welcome back to Beyond Limits, the channel where we redefine the boundaries of what's possible. Today I bring you a story from the heart of India, a story of love, loss, and unrelenting determination. Dashrath Manjhi, a simple man with no resources, no support, and no education, achieved the impossible. He proved that perseverance is the mightiest tool we possess. Let's dive into this incredible journey. Our story begins in Galore, a remote village in Bihar, India, where life was as harsh as the rocky terrain. The villagers lived in poverty, cut off from the nearest town by a massive mountain. It was a 55-kilometer journey around this mountain just to access basic needs like hospitals, markets, or schools. In 1959, Dashrath Manjhi's wife, Faguni Devi, fell gravely ill. Desperate, Manjhi tried to rush her to the nearest hospital, but fate was cruel. The grueling detour delayed them, and his beloved wife passed away before she could receive medical help. Heartbroken but determined, Dashrath vowed that no one else would ever have to suffer the same fate. Imagine the anguish he must have felt. Would you give up, blaming the circumstances? Or would you rise, pick up your tools, and decide to break through the very mountain that stood in your way? Manjhi did the unthinkable. Armed with just a hammer and a chisel, he began chipping away at the mountain. It was 1960, and people laughed at him. They called him a madman, mocked him for daring to challenge something so insurmountable. But Manjhi didn't listen. Day after day he worked. Under the blazing sun, through the biting cold, he toiled, determined to carve a path through the mountain. Let me ask you this, how many times have you stopped pursuing a goal because someone said, "It's impossible"? Now think about this man, facing a literal mountain, and tell me what's your excuse. For years, Dashrath Manjhi faced ridicule. Villagers called him crazy. Even his family doubted him. But here's the thing about perseverance, it doesn't rely on external validation. Manjhi wasn't doing this for fame or fortune. He was driven by love, loss, and the hope of a better future for his people. And here's the most incredible part, he didn't stop. Not when his hands bled, not when his body ached, not even when the odds seemed impossible. For 22 years, Dashrath Manjhi worked tirelessly, alone and unnoticed. But in 1982, his dream became a reality. The 110-meter-long, 9-meter-wide road he carved out of the mountain was complete. He had reduced the distance to the nearest town from 55 kilometers to just 15 kilometers. Can you believe this? A single man, with primitive tools and no formal training, achieved what entire communities couldn't. And he did it because he refused to give up. Dashrath Manjhi's efforts didn't go unnoticed forever. The government of India eventually recognized his work. He was honored with the prestigious Padma Shri Award, one of the highest civilian awards in India. Today, his name stands as a symbol of perseverance, and his story inspires millions across the world. Think about it, from being mocked as a madman to becoming a national hero, all because he refused to back down. Isn't that proof that perseverance isn't just a virtue, it's a superpower? So what's the lesson here? Obstacles are inevitable. Whether it's a literal mountain or the challenges in your personal life, the key is to keep going. Dashrath Manjhi didn't have resources or support, but he had something far more powerful: belief and determination. As you step into your next challenge, remember this: the mountain may seem big, but your perseverance is bigger. Break it down, one blow at a time. If this story inspired you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that nothing is impossible. And remember, here on Beyond Limits, we believe in you because limits exist only in the mind. Until next time, keep pushing beyond your limits.